Chase and Brooklyn dance at the Metro Court pool because there was no room to dance in the restaurant. Chase realizes the pool is closed, noting the sign, and says they shouldn't be there. Brooklyn says they can pretend they didn't see the sign, but Chase reminds her that his job is to obey and enforce the rules. Brooklyn reminds him that she has family links to both the hotel's owners, so he should stay and break the rules with her. They grab some nuts and drinks from the bar, and Brooklyn says it's so nice having the pool to themselves. Chase says as long as they don't get caught. She laughs at him being such a by-the-books guy. He says he did have a rebellious phase. As a teen, he had a motorcycle and used to drive it to the lake to go skinny dipping. She doesn't believe it and asks him to prove the skinny dipping part. He asks what she means. She tells him to skinny dip here. He will do it, but only if she joins him. She says no way, this is his thing. Chase challenges her to a competition, and the loser must jump in butt naked. Brooklyn asks what the challenge is. He says they'll see who can toss the most nuts into the air and catch them in their mouths. The competition begins, and Chase beats Brooklyn's 8 catches with 9 in a row. She suggests the best 2 out of 3, but he says a bet is a bet. She begins undressing but wonders about the cameras. He laughs that she wasn't worried about that when he was the one doing the striptease. She says she needs inspiration if it's going to be a striptease, and they kiss. Chase decides to pay her debt because that kiss was worth it. He strips and jumps into the pool. Brooklyn grabs him a towel as he gets out of the pool and can't believe he really has a wild side. He says now she knows he's willing to break the rules for her. At the hospital, Portia finds Curtis on the phone doing research on his condition. She snatches his phone and tells him to stop, and perusing medical websites is just torturing himself. He says it's his phone, his injury, and his choice. He asks for his phone back. She offers to give it back on the condition they order some takeout from their favorite Italian spot. He agrees, so she gives him his phone and exits to put an order in. Curtis continues to research his condition and reads that it can't be cured. Portia soon returns with their dinner. Curtis takes a bite and says it's delicious and insists he feels better already. They finish dinner, and Portia admits she misses cooking. She recalls how she used to cook dinner for Trina every night, and they tell each other about their day. Portia says now that she's cutting back on work hours. She thinks she'll make it a priority to make dinners again. Curtis asks why she's cutting back on work hours. She says it's to spend more time with him at the hospital, as his recovery is going to be a process. Portia notes they still don't know the full extent of his injuries, and for how long he's lost the use of his legs. Curtis thinks she's been thinking a lot about this. Portia admits their house has a lot of steps, and they could rent a one-level home or have a contractor modify their house for him if needed. Curtis refuses to allow her to do that. He says if he can never walk again, then she needs to let him go. Later, Dante and another detective arrive, and Dante can't believe it's Dex who called this in. Dex explains he didn't touch the body and doesn't know if he's dead. Dante checks him and confirms Gordon is dead. Dante asks if this is an associate of Sonny's. Dex says he'll have to ask his dad himself. The other detective asks how Dex found the body. Dex explains he was leaving the hospital and went to throw his cup away in the dumpster and found the body. Dante asks what Dex was doing at the hospital. The other detective finds out the guy's name from his ID in his wallet and orders background checks run on him. Dante again asks Dex why he was as GH. Dex explains he was checking on Curtis for Trina and Joss. The detective grabs Dante and has the records on the victim. Dante looks them over and tells Dex he's free to go. It turns out this guy was from Pop Talk and asks if it sounds familiar to Dex. Finn and Liz are seated at the Metro Court Grill. Liz orders sparkling cider along with Finn to start their meal. He appreciates her for honoring that he's in recovery, but she doesn't need to refrain from having wine because of him. As the night progresses, Liz notes Finn is anxious to check in with the babysitter and says it's okay to check his phone. He reads the text and the sitter claims Violet went straight to bed and did not ask for another story. Finn is suspicious as Violet always negotiates to stay up, and Liz has no texts from Jake or Aiden either. Liz asks if Finn told Violet that they were having dinner. He did, and Liz believes she told Jake and Aiden. She eventually gets a text from Aiden telling her to enjoy dinner,